The final stop on our Hurtigruten cruise is Tromso, way up north. At this point, we're only 1,400 miles from the North Pole. But despite its remote location, Tromso is actually a mini metropolis of 80,000 people, with a university, an Arctic research center, a striking cathedral, and several museums. We'll disembark the ship for the final time and head off to Polaria, the Arctic aquarium, where it's time to feed the seals.
We're here at the Polaris Aquarium. Hello, Mr. Seal.
Just trying to get up and fall back. One up right up inside there. There's two up over there. Medium, large.
Many of the exhibits were geared toward a younger crowd, but really, who doesn't love watching a big fish tank? So peaceful.
I don't know who that big guy is on the bottom.
You look tasty.
Believe it or not, he's called a lumpfish. I think it's a very appropriate name.
Feeling a little crabby today? Be thankful you're not for dinner. The building itself is really cool. It's supposed to represent ice floes being pushed onto land by the Arctic Sea, but to me, it looks like a lineup of dominoes toppling down. But the most striking building in Tromso and its signature structure is the Ishavskatedralen, the Arctic Cathedral. Built in 1965, this modernist masterpiece evokes the Arctic mountain peaks. Let's go inside. Inside, it's bright and airy and filled with light. Although relatively small, the tall peaked ceiling and expansive glass panels make it seem much larger. It's a unique and beautiful place of worship. You don't have to be hundreds of years old to be a world-class cathedral. Our final stop in Tromso is the Fjellheisen, the mountain cable car. Located just down the road from the Arctic Cathedral, It will whisk us up for panoramic views of the city from the top of the Storsteinen, the big rock. And a big rock it is. After waiting online in the cold for 20 minutes, we just missed this one. But that's okay because we'll get a primo spot in the next carriage. And here it comes now. Let's go. Down below, the Arctic Cathedral, the bridge leading into downtown Tromso, and as I pan around, our ship at the pier, our hotel for tonight, and off to the left, the toppled dominoes of the Polarium. And in the distance, the stark Arctic beauty of northern Norway. At the top, there's an observation deck where we can take in the views. And it looks like we are blessed with fair weather. Here's looking north. Looking south, the Storsteinen, the big rock. Behind us, to the east, Mount Trondalstinden, 4,000 feet high, where the locals like to go hiking and cross-country skiing. We'll skip that, but remember the name. We'll be hearing it again later. And in front of us, down below, the city center of Tromso, which, like Manhattan, is an island. What a view! Remember that fair weather we were blessed with? Well, the blessing didn't last. As we head back down, the skies darken, the clouds move in, and it starts to snow. Rather heavily, I might add. Oh no! It's our final night in Norway, and we've yet to see the Northern Lights. It was the main reason for the trip, as it's been my dream since I was a little boy. The Aurora Tracker app on my iPad showed only 12% probability of seeing the lights. And as night fell, the Aurora webcam showed cloud cover over Tromso. You can't see the lights through the clouds, so the outlook for the lights was looking dim. Nonetheless, we decided to ask the concierge at the hotel's front desk. He said that the weather was supposed to clear after 9 o'clock, and that there was a fair chance the aurora might appear, but we wouldn't be able to see the lights from the city center because there's too much ambient light. He suggested hiring a taxi, that the drivers knew the best places to go. The rate would be 1,000 kroner per hour, which by a quick calculation would come out to $90 an hour. Well, I'm not sure about this. Inconsistent probabilities, unpredictable weather, no guarantee of results. $90 an hour? I was ready to say no thanks. But then Judy spoke up.
I thought this is something I wanted to see as well, and I thought we should take the chance and hope for the best. $200 to pay is a small price for a primal experience of a lifetime. I turned to Mark and I said, I'll even pay for it.
Well, that settles that. Never argue with Judy. We told the man to book it. Let's go chase the aurora. After a brief nap, we bundled up and headed out. Sure enough, the skies were clear and cold, 16 degrees Fahrenheit, -9 Celsius. The taxi was waiting, but as we huddled in the back seat, the driver asked, "Where do you want to go?" And we said, "Take us to see the lights." And again he asked, "Where do you want to go?" And we said, "You're supposed to know this." But it turned out he didn't. This is not going according to plan. But he made a phone call, hit some buttons on his GPS, and took off across the bridge. He said he checked with his friend who told him where to go and was already there. Over the big bridge, past the Arctic Cathedral, softly lit at night, past the mountain cable car, past the end of Tromso Island with the city lights receding in the rearview mirror, and south on a lonely two-lane highway. The cars are getting fewer and fewer, and eventually it's just us and the two-lane highway. After about 25 minutes, I was starting to get a little worried. I know we needed to leave the city, but we are in the middle of nowhere. Are we being taken for a ride at $90 an hour? I asked the driver, "Where are we going?" And he said, 45 kilometers, which by my calculation is 25 miles. That seems a little excessive, but we've gone too far to turn back, so we'll just sit tight. Finally, there's a home, and there's a car in the driveway with its headlights on and people milling about. We pull in behind and step out into the frigid night air. At first, we don't see much of anything, but a young woman says, "Point your smartphone at the sky and take a picture."
Wow.
Finally, the fabulous Northern Lights.
Woohoo! Getting brighter and brighter with every second.
This is just what we came to see, even if we needed some technological augmentation for help. But as our eyes accustomed to the dark, we were able to see the aurora, just as it began to fade away. But that's okay, because we came, we saw, and we were frozen. It's cold. Time to head back. Judy, you were right.
It's the last night of our Norwegian vacation. And finally, we chased the northern lights and we found them. Judy?
Thank you to our taxi driver also.
Judy? Thanks for making a little boy's wish come true.
You're welcome, honey.
After we returned home, I wondered, where had we gone? And why so far? I had made note of a road sign, Hurtigruten, and looked it up on Google Maps. It was indeed 45 kilometers, and in fact on the other side of Mount Trondheimstinden. In retrospect, you can clearly see it in the photos. What better way to block out the city lights than to go behind a mountain?
Honey, we came to see the northern lights,
And we did.
and we did it.
For more of our worldwide travel adventures, visit our website at happycoupletravels.com.